It's your boy Trey TV, and I'm the best one doing reaction videos out right now. And if I ain't your favorite, I need to know why. With this video, we will be doing the story of Suspect, the UK Grim Reaper, and a lot of y'all told me I had to do this documentary, and a lot of y'all told me I also had to do the album. So I said, why not do both? Because I like doing the mainstream stuff, but I also like to feed the streets. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit that like button. We're trying to get the channel to grow, and the only way we could do that is by you like, sharing, commenting on the content. So without further ado, let's get into this documentary, the story of Suspect, the UK Grim Reaper. Bang, bang. Let's go! Chi, get the yayo.
The Active Gang has become more popular since they started releasing songs, and throughout London this gang is known to be a crazy one. But the truth is, no gang has a history without its members. In other words, crazy members make a crazy gang.
Facts.
In this video I'll be talking about one of Active Gang's members, Suspect. This is the crazy story of Suspect. Before we start the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you would like to join this month's
leave a like on mine too,
on the screen, then all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and watch this video to the
subscribe
end.
To my channel too, you heard?
Good luck. One more thing, know that all information in this video is not 100% confirmed, but is mostly alleged. Alright, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
Like the story of Active Gang is incomplete without its members, we can't talk about Suspect without talking about Active Gang. The gang was formed and based in Camden. Camden is located on the northwest side of London. Over the last 5 years, Camden has really heated up for gang wars. Although northwest beef has been established for decades, and these beefs are not unknown. An example is Church Road versus South Kilburn. Presently, the beef in Camden is between Active Gang and Nigger Grove, CTI of Camden Town, NRB of North Road, and 51st, which is a link up between NW1 and NW5 of Peckwater, Queen's Crescent, and Cumbo. These wars didn't just start, you can only imagine how many bodies must have been dropped. Suspect of Active Gang has done a lot for his gang, but before we go into that, let's discuss a little bit about his personal life. Suspect lived.
I did hear about Suspect. I heard he put a lot of work in. That's what made me want to do the documentary, to find out more what he was getting into, instead of hearing about it. From my understanding, he's on trial, so we're going to screen free that man till that man's free, you heard?
Lived with the foster family in Tottenham, but was in care of Camden Council. Why, right? You must have thought his parents abandoned him or something happened to him, but nah. It was because of Suspect's reckless behavior as a teenager. For example, when he was 14 years, he went missing for a complete 2 months and kept everyone word until the police later spotted him and took him. Around that,
that's how you already know when you're on a grown man path. They say he was 14 and was missing for a couple of months. Some of us, when we go through a lot of stuff, we want to take the burden off our parents because they can't take care of us like that. And we start to run the streets and try to figure out a way to take care of ourselves, to put less burden on our parents. I'm not sure if that's what he did or not. I'm going to keep watching to find out exactly what happened. But I know a lot of reasons. That's the reason, because people don't want to be a burden on their parents. Their parents not taking care of them the way they think they should be taken care of, and a lot of times they end up leaving at an early age.
At the time, he was already repping his gang and selling drugs in towns of the country. Though this history of Active Gang isn't publicized, which made it difficult to know the origin and the founders of the gang, one thing is certain: Suspect, together with SY, Hitman, Broad Day, Blitz, and others in their clique, have been original members of the gang for a long time.
Okay.
Active Gang is not currently that big of a gang, as it has around 30 to 40 members in it, but there is every
That is crazy. I thought it was way more people in Active Gang. All the dissing, the back and forth, all the people that you hearing getting bodied, and it's only 30 to 40 members. That's crazy, because when I seen on Active Gang versus 51st, they showed a bunch of different blocks or gangs linking up to make certain gangs. So I am kind of bewildered that it's only 30 to 40 members. That's crazy.
Possibility that it's going to increase as time goes on. Now that they're gaining recognition with their drills,
it's definitely going to increase because of the music. That's why I went over here. When you start getting music, you get notoriety. Like, people are seeing that Suspect, and and active gang is getting plays over here in America. Like, we're finding about them in America, more people are gonna join the gang just over the fact that they know that they're making over here to the United States and they're making a name for themselves. And a lot of time people just want to put themselves next to something that's already in motion, already got a name. It's just the way the game goes.
Sound and activities on the streets, they'd be welcoming new members. Active Gang was originally cool with Peckwater and Queens Crescent, and things were going well between the two gangs and the members, but it didn't last long, as the beef between them started around 2016. As you know from beef stories of different gangs, they're usually caused by small issues that could have been easily settled, but won't, and from there blow.
Most problems between guys, I'm gonna say it over and over again, it's between money and females. I don't know what happened to them and why they started warring, but I know most of the time it got something to do with a female that somebody else want, or it got something to do with money. We don't really beef over too much but that.
Out of proportion. Though the war became deadly in 2017, it began in 2016, and since the very beginning of the war, Suspect has been active all through the war, scoring points on Lebs of Cumbo, who later caught a body on 18. It's also alleged that Suspect stabbed T-Boy of Queens Crescent and ran over Dietz before he went to jail in 2017.
Yeah,
he was locked up in 2017, but the reason why he got arrested is unknown. He was later released early in 2018, but while he was in prison, he never considered taking a break from beef, even though he was behind bars. He got into a fight, beating Goose of 51st badly. You know how these things work. That fight and those he rode with even earned him much respect in. While Suspect was still in prison, a lot happened, and all of that made him crazier. In September of 2017, the first body was dropped in this beef. An important member of the Active Gang was killed by Peckwater 51st Street Gang. This member of Active Gang that was killed is called Mitch. Mitch was the boss as at that time, and he was caught by Flips, who G-checked him and stabbed him. They both had a brief argument before Flips stabbed him in the neck and back. A police officer saw Flips in action, chased him all the way down the street, and caught him. Mitch was rushed to the...
That sounds like the story that was in Active Gang versus 51st, where somebody stabbed somebody and got caught right by the cops time they did it. I'm not sure if this is a story, but it sounds like an identical story to the one that was in Active Gang versus 51st Street. If I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me in the comments.
Officer saw Flips in action, chased him all the way down the street, and caught him. Mitch was rushed to the hospital, but he would not survive.
I'm pretty sure that's
As for Flip, he stated that he was acting on self-defense, as the knife he used was for Mitch. The jury never believed his claims, and that got him 17 years to life imprisonment.
It was worth a shot. You're going to try anything to beat a case. Self-defense is the first thing anyone's going to go to in a murder trial is self-defense. So it didn't work, but I don't blame him for trying.
Sadly, Mitch was the third person in his family that was stabbed to death, as his cousin was killed a few.
That's crazy. They said that was the third person in his family to be stabbed, and it kind of remind me of Chicago. And I'm thinking about FBD Duck. I know he lost like brothers, cousin. He lost a lot of family members before it was his time, and that's remind me of that when it's people in the same family kept dying. I think his mom had FBD Duck. Mom had 10 kids. Out of 10 of them, 5 or 6 of them died, and that's crazy.
Sadly, Mitch was the third person in his family that was stabbed to death, as his cousin was killed a few years before his death, also by stabbing. Suspect was close to Mitch, since Mitch was the boss, and Suspect is quite useful to the gang for his activities. But he wasn't in Suspect's close circle, since Suspect is way younger. Usually there are cliques even in a gang. Apart from the broad alliance and respect between members of a group, there are usually cliques that roll together, especially because of the number of members in a gang. This explains why you can find SY, Broad Day, Swavey, and Hitman with Suspect, as they engage in activities together. Back to the beef story. By February 2018, a member of Peckwater called Dottie was killed. At first, you would think Active Gang eventually got their revenge on them by killing Dottie, but that's not correct. It was actually OFB and ZT members that killed him. That was suspiciously unusual since they are based in North and East London. Well, that happened because of an argument they had at a party, and soon things became really ugly, taking Dottie's life. Bando K of OFB and Mark Duggan's son were arrested for Dottie's murder. Mark's son was later released after it was confirmed that he had nothing to do with the situation and was only present at the party. However, Bando got convicted and got 18 to life on appeal. After the death of Dottie, Active Gang members disrespected him in songs even though they didn't kill him. It's understandable because Dottie was a rival gang member anyway, and since he died, they could only use that to get to their ops. Peckwater wasn't in any way happy with all of that. They became mad at those who killed their member and those who dissed him in songs, and so they retaliated. They set out on that day to slide on Broadwater Farms in London.
And that's how a lot of it goes. It's all over music, dissing, Twitter, people dissing, saying they smoking on the op. So people be out to get their get back. I think it's crazy. I say it time and time again. The same thing that happened in the U.S. is the same thing that happened in the UK. It's just different players. But if you see the way that it happened in the US, I can see it playing out the same way in the UK. With the drill scene in the US, all the good ones either now are dead or locked up for a long time. And it's like now as I'm learning about the UK drill scene, and every time I like an artist or I find some music, he's locked up, he's locked up, he's locked up, he's locked up. And I just sit back like, damn, it's like the same thing that happened over here is going to happen over here. And that's why in the US, our drill scene is not what it used to be. And UK is actually killing the US in the drill scene, but it's because all the good drillers that we had is either dead or locked up. And that's real rap.
In fields, but they didn't find anyone, and so they decided to head to their usual op blocks in Camden, and they didn't stop there. Since they were so determined to take out their ops, that night alone 4 people were stabbed between 2 to 3 hours. Out of the 4 people that got stabbed,
a lot of this sound like the same information that I heard in the active 51st gang, how they bunch of gang members got together, they couldn't find somebody, so they started going to different areas looking for people, and they eventually found people. And like I was saying in that video, that's how it is when gangs get together. You're calling people from all different directions. Some people might came from a couple hours away. Some people could have been doing something that was important, and they came for this situation. So nobody's going to go home until something's done. If you get 30 to 40 people together and y'all got together for a situation and nothing happened, everyone's going to feel like they wasted their time. So instead of feeling like your time is wasted, you're going to find somebody to get, even if it's the wrong people, somebody's going to be got before that night's over.
2 died while 2 survived. These 2 victims were S45, named Sadiq, who was a member of active gang, and AK, who wasn't a gang member, but only a friend of those gang members. He wasn't meant to die, but the group he associated with got him in trouble and eventually took his life. That incident got all of the Peckwater 51st Street members that were out that night arrested. Eventually, while only 3 of them, Stings, Gambino, and Frost, were found guilty of murder and manslaughter.
Damn.
That was a huge loss for Peckwater, as 4 of their most respected members were serving life imprisonment. Both S45 and AK were close friends of Suspect, as you can regularly find them in his music. It was the murder of these 2 that made Suspect become really crazy and unleashed the demon in him, as he was still in prison, but already plotting his retaliation.
I'm just crazy as I'm hearing this. I'm just thinking about comments that I read, how they were saying, I forgot who left the comment, but they said he was in jail when people called bodies, and he came out of jail, started putting work in for the people that committed the murders. And then when I hear that story, it reminds me a lot of King Von. The same thing happened to King Von when he was locked up. If you know anything about King Von, his right hand man was T-Roy. He got killed when he was in jail, and another one of his friends got killed. And that's when he made the song called Demon. And basically what I'm saying, them 2 stories sound just alike. Both of them was locked up. Both of them was part of a war, then they ended up getting locked up. The war kept going on, but people that was close to die, and they felt like if they was out, they would have protected them. That wouldn't happen if they was there. So they come out bent on revenge, on getting get back. And it sound like that's exactly what Suspect went through. Went crazy in jail, close friends of him died. Then when he came home, he was only thinking about doing one thing, get some get back. And that's crazy because I just did the Potter Paper documentary. When Potter Paper came out of jail, he was hell bent on hitting his studio. When Suspect came home, he was hell bent on getting some get back. And that's crazy.
Suspect become really crazy and unleashed the demon in him, as he was still in prison, but already plotting his retaliation. As soon as Suspect got released in 2018, he got active in the streets immediately, and he became crazy on the streets of Camden. He quickly started taking his revenge on his ops. He got 3 51st Street members, Lebs, Action, and G Squeeze, and fought them, almost killing Lebs.
3-piece.
Action eventually had to leave G Squeeze and ran to save himself while G Squeeze was stabbed 14 times. In late 2018, he made the papers when he allegedly shot at Cell, also called C2, a 51st Street member on Essex Street. Though his name was not mentioned, and as no one identified him, the news read, the Mets gang squad has released CCTV of the chilling moment a gunman gets out of a Jaguar and opens fire off Essex Road.
People doing drills and foreigns, Jaguars, I think it's crazy. But I know how the game go. 9 times out of 10, that was a stolen car. But if you're going to steal a car, you might as well steal a nice one.
The chilling moment a gunman gets out of a Jaguar and opens fire off Essex Road. Police are pleading with anyone with information about the shooter or the driver of the car to get in touch. No one was hit, but 2 passers-by were injured during the shocking incident on the night of September 21st. A 34-year-old woman was taken to the hospital with a cut to her hand caused by shattered glass from a shop window, and a man 40 suffered minor injuries. The car pulled into the Peabody Estate in Greenman Street before the passenger got out and fired several shots at another man in Greenman Street and then again in Essex Road. He then got back in the car, which sped off down Popham Street. From the news, it's clear that the suspect missed cell as he jumped off-road after the incident. During this time, suspect wasn't known to many people because he didn't release any songs. He was all about his gang activities, and that he faced squarely. Usually street works are done in silence to avoid getting into trouble, which suspect understood and stuck to.
Real G's being silenced like lasagna. I thought that was crazy, and I think it's crazy also they were just saying how he wasn't a rapper, then he started putting all his work in, and then he started to rapping. Sounds a lot like King Von's story. When King Von was first putting in work and all that, he never even thought about being a rapper. Then he got locked up, and that's when he started to start writing raps. But the whole time, King Von was just putting in work, just like Suspect. And when you hear the stories of the two, King Von and Suspect stories sound a lot alike.
Usually street works are done in silence to avoid getting into trouble, which Suspect understood and stuck to. He continued earning himself respect in the gang and on the streets by fighting and taking ops out, even allegedly robbing a lot of guys at the time. He was so determined, and that made him catch his first body in April 2019. The Queens Crescent 51st Street boss called C-Miz, who himself had a body, was walking in Greens Oak at about 8:30 when 4 active gang members spotted him there on the street. As soon as he also noticed his ops were there, he ran as he felt he was outnumbered, which could be dangerous for him. He was filmed by a dash cam nearby while he was running for his life. He was able to run far, but at a point he slipped and was caught by his ops. He was then stabbed to death by Suspect, SY, Swavey, and Stricker. None of them were arrested for this case as it remains unsolved to this day. After C-Miz,
it remains unsolved, but he know everybody that was there and exactly what has happened. If you in a gang and this don't scare you, I don't know what will, because everything that happens, US, UK, it's all being reported, exactly who was there and exactly what happened. So it doesn't even make sense that you actually want to do this type of stuff, because they know everything. Even people, I was watching people in the UK reporting on Chicago exactly what was happening. I was like, how do they know that all the way in the UK? So if it don't scare you how much this information is getting out, nothing will.
None of them were arrested for this case as it remains unsolved to this day. After C-Miz died, his name was mentioned in a lot of songs they dropped. Some of the lyrics where C-Miz was mentioned include, "Bill up a C-Miz pack, that's flavors. C-Miz just turned run. It was Broadway when C-Miz got done. It was at night when Culps got packed. They still want the suspect for that one." His lyrics clearly explains what happens about C-Miz the day he was killed, as he took credit for it. After the murder, Suspect continued his rampage as he hit Minty.
And that is the thing that make drill a lot realer than other genres of rap, is because drill's actually doing something and talking about it in the raps. It's not your regular raps where you just rapping what we like to call real rap. This is no, I did this and I'm putting on wax and I'm letting the ops know what happened and I'm letting everybody know exactly what happened, and I think that's crazy.
Was killed as he took credit for it. After the murder, Suspect continued his rampage as he hit Minty, Cash, Lebs, VI, and Roe, all 51st members. 3 months later,
he was going ham. It sounded like he just said 5, 6 names, and that's crazy. I keep wondering, how do he know everybody that this guy stabbed?
As he hit Minty, Cash, Lebs, VI, and Roe, all 51st members. 3 months later, Suspect caught his second body, which belonged to the Cumbo 51st Street. That day, active gang members and CT1 members loaded themselves in 2 cars and went out to look for their ops. They found culprit action and an unknown man, and as soon as the 3 saw them, they ran, leading their ops to chase after them. This made the 3 of them split up and ran on their own. Culprit got...
You never split up. I don't know why people do that. Take your chances as a group. If something's going down, it's best just to stay in a group. so y'all all could have each other back. If you single, the whole gang's still gonna go after just one person. Just because you split up, one person is gonna get picked out, and they're gonna chase that one person. The other two is gonna get away, but the other person, it's not gonna look good for them when they catch up with them.
In their ops to chase after them. This made the three of them split up and ran on their own. Culprit got caught alone as he was ringing doorbells from house to house for help, but no one wanted to help him to avoid trouble. Suspect got him and stabbed him with a knife so long that it came out his back. Culprit was only 16 when suspect killed him, but being 16 doesn't mean he didn't have a body too.
Facts.
All by himself, he killed someone on Cali Road, which is most likely a rival gang member, and also shot at suspect 1 week before his death. For the murder,
That's crazy that he shot at suspect a week before this happened. And that's probably why when the other people dipped off, they kept going after him because of the stuff that he did earlier. The other two probably didn't do that much. It looked like they went after the one that had the most dirt and probably was going to get the biggest shine off of him, because it sounded like out of the three, that one they had put in the most work and was going to put in the most work out the group.
Most likely a rival gang member, and also shot at suspect 1 week before his death. For the murder, the police arrested AR named Abirabin Ibrahim. AR wasn't part of the stabbing, but he was 15. The one that drove them to the scene. The car that he drove was later found destroyed together with another car, which are most likely the cars they took to the scene. Suspect.
That was smart, and if I'm thinking like they trying to say that they burnt the cars up, because a lot of times when people steal cars, of course you burn it up, so it won't leave no fingerprints, no DNA, no evidence. You don't want no hairs, anything that could lead back to you. So burning the car up after you stole it, unfortunately, is the best and smartest situation.
Found destroyed together with another car, which are most likely the cars they took to the scene. Suspect SY and Swavey all fled to East Africa to avoid trouble, leaving AR, who didn't commit the murder, to bear the punishment. AR also decided not to say anything, and he got 20.
Like, why is people different to Africa? If you're in UK, let me know. If it's like can you not be extradited from out of Africa if you go over there? Like, why is people going over there? It's a reason. Can you let me know that in comments?
21 years to life in prison for that. Even though suspect has 2 bodies, which is kind of rare in this generation of UK drill, he hasn't stopped from pushing his rap career. He started dropping when he was last in the UK, and his early songs reached 1 million views, which is a good benchmark for UK rap music.
Facts.
Since he went on the run, his consistency has improved, and he's also linked up with the likes of Lowski and Fredo, HRB. Even though active gang top killers are on the run, that didn't stop the beef from going on.
I didn't know he was linked up to them too. I definitely like both of them, Lucci and Fredo. I like both of them. I didn't even know they was in a gang together. That's crazy, but I do like both of them.
Likes of Lowski and Fredo, HRB. Even though active gang top killers are on the run,
and from my understanding, I think Lowski got like 6 years. So also we're gonna keep screaming "Free that man" to that man scree. I reacted to his last song that he did. I think it was called "Deliberation," and that was definitely some fire. I definitely like that song.
Didn't stop the beef from going on. In late 2019, Wilson Varela was shot dead in Camden by 2 men.
Damn.
Wilson was not a gang member, but was
It is going down in Camden. You heard? It's going down. That sound like Chicago. Camden sound like a small Chicago.
Mistaken for a gang member. Those who killed Wilson are unknown, but it was rumored that it was active gang or Peckwater. In 2021, the beef started to calm down a bit, but in the beginning of summer, the beef reignited on a big level. Blitz of active gang got stabbed by 3 Combo members on his birthday and was mocked on social media.
Damn, they stabbed that man on his birthday. Like, let that man enjoy his birthday. Catch him another day. Like, y'all caught a nigga on his birthday. Y'all don't let a nigga chill on his birthday. Like, he can't just eat some cake, chill with the family. Niggas gotta get stabbed up. Supposed to be cutting cake on your birthday, not getting cut, and that's crazy.
Blitz of active gang got stabbed by 3 Combo members on his birthday and was mocked on social media.
Wow.
Soon after, Broad Day and TS Cam were released from prison, and they took to social media to make awareness of how they were going to make Camden hot again. They allegedly stabbed a knot in the face.
They say, yo, we come out, it's on and popping. No time that door go ding, 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 and we come out, we up in the score, and that's crazy.
To make awareness of how they were going to make Camden hot again. They allegedly stabbed a knot in the face, and by the end of summer, Peckwater was on the news again. This time it was a quadruple shooting that left 3 women shot.
Damn.
It was said that Drills, who's the QC's boss, was also shot, though he said it's not true. The rival gangs started taunting one another, and Broad Day eventually got called back to jail the day after.
Damn.
The problems continued till today, with suspect and his friends still on the run for the murder they committed. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you in this video. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section.
Our boy was putting in work. It's Trey TV. You know we got the streets. Let's get it.
He's a rapper.